America Election News. September 1, 2024. Presidential Campaign Updates. The 2024 presidential contest is heating up for Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. Before the September 10th debate, both camps are focusing on battlegrounds, while swing state votes will arrive after Labor Day. This is what to know as campaigns prepare for the final 2 months before Election Day. Harris on the trail. The Democratic nominee will visit Detroit on Monday before joining President Joe Biden in Pittsburgh for a Labor Day event to appeal to working-class voters in battleground states. At Labor Fest in Milwaukee, Harris's running mate, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, will speak. Trump travels to Wisconsin. The former president will address a rally Saturday in Massena, Wisconsin, a key battleground state, as he targets the Blue Wall of Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. First swing state ballots arrive soon. Friday marks the first 2024 election ballot in North Carolina, one of several Sun Belt states that could be crucial. 2 weeks later, Minnesota, South Dakota, and Virginia begin early in-person voting. Arlington dispute continues. Nearly a week after Trump criticized Arlington National Cemetery's political activity ban, the impact continues. After Harris said the previous president is unable to fathom anything other than service to himself, Trump praised relatives of 2021 Kabul airport attack victims. On Sunday, the former president congratulated the families for their social media videos praising Trump and criticizing Harris and Biden. Trump blames Harris for hostage incident as 6 captives' bodies emerged. From CNN's Kate Sullivan. After the Israeli Defense Forces found 6 prisoners in Gaza, former President Donald Trump blamed Vice President Kamala Harris. The Israeli hostage crisis is only happening because Comrade Kamala Harris is weak, ineffectual, and clueless. If I were president, the October 7th Israeli crisis would never have happened. Sunday, Trump posted on Truth Social. Harris reiterated last month at the Democratic National Convention that she and President Joe Biden are negotiating a ceasefire and hostage release deal between Israel and Hamas. Desperate, famished people escaping for safety repeatedly. In her address, she stated the suffering is awful. In order to safeguard Israel, release the captives, end the suffering in Gaza, and let the Palestinian people to fulfill their right to dignity, security, freedom, and self-determination, President Biden and I are working to terminate this war. Harris and Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff spoke Sunday with the parents of hostage Hirsch Goldberg Pollen, an Israeli-American. Doug and I just spoke to John and Rachel, Hirsch Goldberg Pollen's parents, to express our sorrow following the horrible death of their son by Hamas terrorists. The Democratic presidential contender tweeted on X, "My heart breaks for their suffering." Senator Tom Cotton indicated Sunday that he would support former President Donald Trump's expensive new IVF proposal despite funding issues. Most Republicans will be open to it, including me. I think we'd have to analyze the fiscal implications, if the taxpayer can support this, and what influence it would have on premiums, the Arkansas Republican said on NBC's Meet the Press. In principle, assisting couples seeking IVF or other fertility procedures is not controversial, he stated. Trump pledged Thursday to pay for in vitro fertilization if re-elected. He did not say how to pay. I'm announcing today in a significant announcement that under the Trump administration, your government will pay for, or your insurance company will be compelled to pay for, all costs involved with IVF treatment, the former president declared during a Michigan campaign event. On Sunday, Trump friend Senator Lindsey Graham indicated he would not endorse the previous president's proposal and instead propose a tax credit for IVF families. I think a tax credit for children makes sense, means tested, and I think let's look at that concept for folks attempting to have a child, the South Carolina Republican said on ABC's This Week. In the months since the Alabama High Court's February declaration that frozen embryos are children, Democrats have used IVF threats to characterize Republicans, including Trump, as restricting reproductive health care. Trump said shortly after the ruling that he strongly supports the availability of IVF for couples. I added more information to this post and headline. After his controversial Arlington National Cemetery address last week, Donald Trump praised Gold Star families who submitted videos backing him on social media on Sunday. I want to thank the families of our great warriors who have died for coming together as one and for asking me to attend the celebration of their wonderful family members who are no longer with us due to Kamala Harris and Joe Biden's incompetence. Thank you for asking me to stand with you at Arlington National Ceremony and snap pictures. It was my honor. We'll never forget. On Truth Social, Trump posted. Trump's Truth Social and X videos reveal family of U.S. service veterans slain in the Kabul airport bombing 3 years ago criticizing Kamala Harris and supporting Trump. The tapes emerged as the Trump campaign grapples with a cemetery official's refusal to allow political activities on sacred grounds. Trump proceeded to criticize Harris, who said the former president is unable to comprehend anything other than service to himself on Saturday, in his Sunday post. Trump said, "Lightweight VP Kamala Harris tried turning it around, because they weren't there, have never spoken to the families, and have no inclination to do so." ABC News and Ipsos' new national poll shows Vice President Kamala Harris leading former President Donald Trump by a tiny margin, similar to a pre-convention ABC/Washington Post/Ipsos poll. Harris leads Trump 50% to 46% of registered voters, similar to the early August poll's 49% to 45% margin. Harris leads likely voters 52% to 46%, close to the pre-convention outcome, 51% Harris to 45% Trump. Teamsters President Sean O'Brien said his union won't endorse a presidential candidate until its members meet with Vice President Kamala Harris. On Sunday, the International Brotherhood of Teamsters president told CBS News the group wants the opportunity to meet down with Harris before endorsing her or former President Donald Trump. Under our leadership, we brought every candidate to the table in front of rank-and-file members and our General Executive Board, and we're waiting on Vice President Harris to meet with us, O'Brien said. You can't hire without an interview. This is our chance to discuss Teamster and labor concerns with her. We'll wait to decide until that meeting, he said. O'Brien also criticized Trump for celebrating the termination of striking workers in a live talk with Elon Musk and supported the United Auto Workers Union's National Labor Relations Board case against Trump. I support anybody that fights labor, and any organization that holds them accountable, he stated. On Sunday, Minnesota Governor Tim Walz credited a good team for helping him balance running for vice president and being governor. We appointed 3 terrific Ramsey County judges last week, as you witnessed. We review all decision memos and meet with commissioners every night. I'm in and out and updating all day, he said.